All right. Welcome back to a new week, a new me. No, I don't know. Anyway, the last couple weeks have been a little bit rough, but we're going to try to make the best of it going forward. But today we're going to try to start working on that garbage bin container that I need to put outside the apartment there. And so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take apart the sawhorses. The sawhorses we made in the first, like our second video, I guess, something like that. We're gonna take these guys apart because I'm gonna use them for this. They've just been taking up space, and so we're gonna use them for this project here. I bought some new lumber for it as well, but I think some of the dimensions here are gonna be just fine for what we want it to be. And because I'm thinking 3 foot high, 4 foot wide, 2 foot deep, that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of this can just cover that, at least for the framing of the thing first. And then I might go just get like cedar fence boards to line the outside of it, but I haven't decided yet. But figured we might as well get started. So let's get to that. All right. So we ended up got 2 of these 1x4s, or 1/2 inch by 4 foot by 4 inch, 3 foot 2x4s, 4 foot 2x4s, which are too big, and then we got some of these. We got 3 of these 1x6s at 3 feet. And so what I want to try to do is salvage as much of this as possible to use in this build. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to use these boards, but this one is split on this end from the screw that I put in it, and on this end. Not as bad, but if I don't need all 4 feet of this, which I shouldn't, but then I can use the 3 foot marker, but we'll see. Other than that, I think I'm not going to worry about like fancy joinery or anything like that. I might just do pocket holes to get all this together. Obviously these are wobbly, but this is just the frame we're talking about here, so I don't think I have to worry about any of that stuff. So I'm just gonna pull these staples out. I don't know, I didn't know they had staples. All right, and then I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna make this a frame. All right. So I ran out of 2x4s. I could run and get some more, but I think I'll try to just use some of the stuff that I have laying around. So this is an old pallet 2x4. This the next part of the frame is going to be at the back. So I'm going to use the cheaper wood there. I used all brand new stuff for the front. I still don't know what I'm going to do to cover the front, but yeah, let's make another one of these with this, and then from there we will we'll put them together with some of the 2-foot boards I have. All right, we'll get our 2-footers. We'll get them in here. Just to see. And then we'll grab a garbage can. It's almost too big, so yeah, we can cut them down to the 24 inches, maybe even 20 inches. We'll just do 24 inches just to make it simple. And if you can hear all the vehicles and stuff, it's because I have the door open, just because it was chilly in here. But we're going to close it soon because it's getting busy. And baseball game starts in 6 minutes. So we're going to probably turn that on too. So we'll build the rest of this without too much commentary. In the last video, I know you heard part of the baseball game. I don't know if that's a problem or not though, but we're going to try our best to get this all situated. But yeah, let me get this started. So it's not the best box in the world, but it's gonna do. It's gonna do just fine. I don't know how I'm gonna do the fronts and stuff. I still have to make it try to at least look good. So it's not just an eyesore sitting out there. So my thought process is I'm gonna stain the ends and then find something to fill the center with. My first thought was actually using the laminate flooring, but after doing some research, I don't think it'll be good out in the weather. But it could work in a pinch until I find something better, and it will look kind of interesting. I think. Let's see, because it's dark. My first thought was to cut it to size and just put it behind all of this stuff. So then it would Let me turn it. Okay. So my thought process originally was to put it behind like so it had a little bit of depth to it. I think it still might be cool. But again, I know that it's probably not great in the sense of putting it. I kind of like it though. I don't know what to do. Do I do it or do I not do it? I don't know if I even have enough to do it with. But I have one box. And it's not doing anything. So I know I should use it for an indoor thing, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what I do. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I'll use it for now. And I can always just cover it later if it looks like shapoopy. Try not to swear, you know. Yeah. Looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Looks pretty good. The bottom and the top. So I bought some cheap plyboard. And I think this is going to work out. 2x4, 2 foot by 4 foot plyboard. Might be a little on the small side for the. Not being square is making this more difficult than I wanted it to be. Anyway, so I bought this plyboard. This is the way it's supposed to go anyway. For pretty cheap. As far as I can tell, it was pretty cheap. And I can probably get it in there. And the point was I didn't want it to go over 4 feet, and I did because the extra guys. Because my point was to hinge it here. Maybe I hinge it there. Let's see here. So these are the 2 cheap hinges I bought. I think these are like $2. I could do this. But okay, so yeah, so it was put this guy on. I wanted it to overhang a bit and have a slope down, and I messed that up. So maybe instead of using, what does this look like? If instead of using one of the 2x2s back here, I obviously don't have this available, but we do this to give us our slope down. We have these two actually. I can cut to size. It doesn't give us a big slope down, but it gives us a slope down. Well, I have to get going. Baseball game even got postponed, so I think I'm gonna sit on this and think about this for a couple hours, and then come back either this evening or tomorrow, and figure out what I've come up with for this project. I do want to stain it before I start putting whatever the fill in is. I have to do the bottom too. I think I could probably just I could force that in there pretty easily. It will help me mount the top too. I think I'm going to put some holes in it too, just in case something leaks out of a garbage bag or something. And then I have a small mesh thing that I found somewhere that I can just put on the bottom on those holes. So then I think I have a small mesh thing. It might be plastic though, which won't do a lot of good, but I mean, rodents can chew through this board anyway, so. Remember, it's mostly the birds and the guys. Yeah. I think I'm actually going to do that. Do I cut it down so it sits below the small 2x4s? I think so. It might actually sit better that way too. And I need to know the measurement for that anyway. So, who knows? When we come back, maybe a good portion of it will be done, or maybe I'll start filming again. But this is a lot, so we'll see. We'll see. You know, you get the gist now. So just putting the bottom and putting the sides on, getting some stain on there, and getting the roof on. The roof I wanted to put cedar shakes, like roofing shakes, on the top, but I couldn't find any. So I think I'm going to leave it plyboard for now, and then attach something to it after. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then it's not supposed to rain again for at least a week or so. So I think I can do this. I think I can. I'm going to cut the ends off. Oh, that's the back, by the way. So cut the ends off this side. I got this garbage board there. That's the back. Let me turn it around before I forget that I made that the back. There we go. Back, front. So I got to cut these off the front. I think I'm going to do that anyway, because I think if I cut these to the proper size, it will just slide it underneath this anyway. So it's good. This is good. And I think if I can get I didn't buy a handle for it. I just bought hinges and stuff because I want to make the damn handle. And so we're going to do that. As soon as we need the handle on, I'm going to get the propane. We're going to make the handle, even if it takes us 12 hours to make it, because I want to learn how to make it. So, yeah, all right. So hopefully I have a good portion done before the cuts to the next clip. But if not, you'll see it exactly how it is. Well, I should put these down first. All right. Okay. So we're here. You can see I've done quite a bit of work on this guy. Yesterday, I came out here. I put the phone on, or I put the camera on the phone on, and I swear I pushed record, but I guess I didn't because there was not even a second of footage. But I just turned the camera on, turned some music on, and then just went to work. And by the time I was done all of that, I looked at the phone and realized it was just black and wasn't recording. So that's try to keep myself a little bit more in tune with what I'm trying to do for the camera. But anyway, you can see here that I've stained all of the bottom on these sides here. I think it came out pretty well for first time staining something this large. I think it's a little splotchy, and that's because I didn't wipe enough of the stain off when I was done. And then I was also doing other things in here. So this top part, it's got like stuck on like sawdust and fingerprints and stuff, but this is going to be covered by a lid. But here, I know you can't see it from there, but there's a light part there, and I didn't do the greatest job, but I don't hate it. Again, this thing is supposed to hold garbage. I bought some more brushes for stain, and then I got this tiny little glue roller for when we do some glue ups. It's so small and squishy. I love it. All right. Anyway, so today we're going to try to get the lid or the roof on, and actually get it out there. But that's where I'm going to have a bigger issue. So a couple of things is I picked up some cedar fence boards. I think I'm going to want to make the roof out of those. And I can't decide how I'm going to do the roof per se. I know that I probably want to put this plyboard on there in some fashion because it's perfect, right? And then I got those hinges that I showed you. But I wanted the angle. So I stained these two boards yesterday. They're just 2x4s that I cut that can fit in here. So we'll move this forward. So these are going to go in here like so. I think I'm going to have to figure out a way to secure them in the center here. But either way, these are going to get secured here like this. And then I'm going to put this up on here. Like so. So then we got the little bit of the slant, so it's easier to brush off when there's snow on it. And then we'll take the hinges, and I think the best part of the hinges, I wanted to try to get the hinges on the inside of this scenario, but it doesn't work that way. And so I think I'm going to have it like this. So the hinges are kind of sitting in there a little bit. And then I'm going to attach the hinges that way because that gives me the most amount of surface area to attach these hinges. I actually don't have screws with heads big enough for this to hold. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to fasten those. And then I was going to take the cedar fence boards and I was going to cut them to size and have them do a little hangover all the way around. So maybe it'll be better to show it this way. I was thinking about just cutting the corners off, and like we could round it a little bit so it's not so jagged. But I was thinking about having it have a little hang off on all sides. And we'll take, I bought 10 boards. I'm assuming I can use like 2 lengths can be 1 board, I'm assuming. So this is going to go over that hinge, I think. And so this one of the boards is going to be a little higher, so I have to figure that out, right? But I was thinking about attaching them this way. So cut them to length, attach them. So then I have all of the boards go across there, like so. So it should give me enough boards. And then we're going to paint the top of it red. Now, speaking of red, she wanted barn red, but I didn't want to go and buy another can of spray paint when I still have the Colonial red or the Colonial red from the sign. And I think that red is great. It's good enough. And so I cut these red strips. They're just strips of ply. It's the same plyboard that I put on the top of the workbench. So it's that extra piece that we had from there. I cut it. It gave me a perfect amount of pieces. And so to cover this spot here and down here. So we're going to be putting them in here. And I'm just going to secure them nice and tight. And then it's going to give us just a little splash of red. Let's see what that looks like. To tie the roof into the rest of it. And it's not too bright or any of that kind of stuff. I think it will look okay. I don't know if it will look terrible, but you can see that I ended up trying to use that laminate flooring that I had that box of. So we're gonna see what that does over the seasons. Because what I researched is this is just gonna start peeling and falling apart and all that kind of stuff. I made it so it's easy for me to take out from the inside. So if I need to replace it with just regular like cedar boards or something like that, I can. But I really was curious as to why everybody said, because I mean, it's flooring, isn't it meant to just be walked on and spilt on and like, you know, I know it's not supposed to have a whole bunch of weather attached to it, but I think it will be at least resilient enough to hold garbage. Right? So we're gonna see. But it's a little wobbly there, so that's why I got these strips. So I got these two longer ones for the front, and then I made four little ones for the sides. Nothing for the back. The back is not even stained. It's just got a piece of plyboard. I'll turn it around and show you eventually, and then these two will go same thing, but on the sides. I cut these guys a little short, so they're about quarter of an inch, half an inch short on the sides. But again, I don't care. It's going towards the back of the thing, so it should be good. So I think our first things first is figure out how to secure these guys properly. Obviously, I'm going to put 3 screws in each side and then see if it's stable enough for the center. If not, I don't know actually. I don't know. Because I put the plyboard in already. I was thinking about grabbing the pocket hole jig quickly and just upside down pocket holes just to get a couple in the, and that would have worked. I think, well, maybe I could put, I don't know. Let's just, let's get these fastened this way, and then I'll figure that one out. I have maybe an idea. Let's just do this. We'll put these like this, and then maybe I'll put something maybe on the back and just fasten it. Yeah. Well, let's get some screws and get this sorted. These two are still a little wobbly, but I think it'll be fine. If I want to, I'll find something. Actually, I stained this one to do a color match. I painted this real quick. Maybe I'll just slap this on the back real quick, like just like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. That's better. Better than it was. All right, so there's that. Now, we have to figure out how we're going to do this. I really want to just test out. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I know this is probably not great, but I'm going to test it out anyway. All right. Ha-ha! So now, I wonder if I should try to put a stopper here. I mean, it will be up against the building, so it can't go too far, but I don't want it to hit the building too much either because there's going to be a metal handle on it. But we got these dual blocks here. The screws are poking out just the tiniest bits, and so I might shave those down, but I mean, they're not the biggest problem in the world. And then we still have to put this guy. We're going to cut this guy to size so he fits in here and is going to sit up in here. So this actually fits right in here. And we're going to try to put one on either side here. This one's not going to fit in, but we're going to do this so we have something to secure the cedar boards to. And then I kind of want to put glue in between each of the cedar boards, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. I don't know if the cedar boards are skinny enough to go on my miter saw, so I might have to freehand it with the skill saw, but we'll see. We will see. We will see right now. All right, well, I don't preach, but I say constantly how I'm trying to be as safe as possible when I'm doing stuff. And then I go ahead and do something stupid like that, eh? I didn't put my ear protection on or my mask on, and I did a bunch of sanding. Normally I won't put the mask on or the hearing protection on if I'm sanding one board really quick. But like I didn't notice until I was at the very end. I looked over it, the forging stuff, and I'm like, I hope I'm not getting dust all over that stuff. And that was my concern. And instead of just hooking up the shop vac and putting on the safety equipment really quick, it would have been very, very quick and easy, and I didn't do that. So I'm disappointed in myself. Anyway, this is sanded now, and we're gonna take it off. We're gonna paint it. We're gonna throw some paint on it, put it over there, and I have to find something to lean it up on because I want to paint it all at once. And the only thing I don't give a hoot about really is the hinges being accidentally painted. I don't care about, and then this top edge, right? I can touch up with a brush after if it's really bad, but everything else I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna lean it up. So I'm gonna take all these red strips here. Now these red strips aren't painted well. I just literally threw one coat on them, but like from a distance it won't matter. And then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna get this guy painted and leaned up over here without anything. We're gonna brush it first. Brush it first. Son of a gun. So now I'm going to just take it off, set it over here, and then we're going to put the strips on, and then I'm going to go shopping. So let's try to do this as efficiently as possible. Need the screwdriver. I'm not going to move the camera to show you painting this. It doesn't really matter, as I'm just going to paint the back of it and then flip it upside down and paint it again. So it's not a big deal. So I'm going to do that now. Open this door a little bit. I have a couple of screws that missed. I'm not going to fix them, but I'll show you. I don't know if you can see. This thing's heavier than I thought it would be. But here, I had a couple of, these two screws kind of popped out. But again, not a huge deal. We were going to just use brad nails for that anyway. But it's okay. All right. Very little paint left. I didn't get more when I was out like I wanted to, but I got to learn to sit back. Keep cutting my head off. Just because I went to a grocery store and they didn't have paint. So I'm just going to use the rest of this to try to even out the top coat on the lid here. And then we're going to put the straps on. And then we're going to spray it all down with the cover, the top coat. And then we'll spray that with the top coat. And then we'll get this on to put together. It's supposed to rain within the next hour or so, which is not great for me putting it outside, but I mean, it's going to go out today or tomorrow. It's going to be done today, so we're going to be pretty happy with it, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do with the grooves in the lid just yet. I was thinking about painting something black and just sticking it there, but I don't know. I don't know yet. So we'll put it all together and then figure it out. normally dries to, I hate these paragraphs. I don't know where the next line begins. Normally dries, allowing at least 5 minutes between coats. Do not saturate surface. Drying normally dries to the touch in 5 minutes at regular temperatures, 20 degrees or whatever. And 50% relative humidity. Allow to dry 24 to 48 hours before putting into use. Yeah. Whatever. I ain't listening to that. My garbage container's going out today. I'm putting garbage in it tonight. Still got like 6 hours before tonight is a thing. So, I mean, I haven't seen it with it closed yet, I guess. I opened it right away. I hope it looks good. You guys know what it kind of looks like before it was screwed in. But now let's figure out, like, we'll give it a couple of minutes before I close it, but the gaps in the lid. The gaps in the lid. We should figure out what we should put in there. Okay. So, it's been a little bit, not quite the hour, but we're gonna do this anyway. So we're gonna slide these guys in here. Just like this. Let me get the nailer out, actually. So you guys can see my fancy new toy. It's not fancy at all. I think it was used, and that's why it was cheap as well. But I'm not too worried about it. It's just an arrow. It says arrow on it. I don't know. This has got a depth stop or a depth gauge to it, but it doesn't have like a, hey, this is where it's supposed to point. Like there's no marker on the actual tool. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I don't know the power of this thing, so we're going to test it somewhere. First, let's just grab this board here that I use to level. This is what I use with my miter saw, so if I have a longer board. And we'll, oh, so it's not on, okay. Awesome. So it's got 1 1/4 inch guys in there. And so if I'm not holding perfectly, like if I'm not holding right up against it firmly, it will leave a bit of the nail out. Anyway, let's grab the mallet and force this guy in. Beautiful. Now, the one final thing is I'll show you. I brought a straightened horseshoe. It's not straightened exactly. Courtney did this, which is a lot better than my attempts. I'll show you my attempts when I bring them in next time. But this is one Courtney did the other day, just to see if she could. And one of the harder reasons that it is to straighten it is because of these clips on the side. So I think we need to knock them off before we start straightening it. Grind them off, knock them off. I'm actually kind of glad we didn't knock them off of this one because I'm going to leave it like this. And it's just going to be a widened horseshoe. And it's going to sit right here on the hand, right there. And as soon as I can figure out where I want that to be, and then those clips there actually give us enough so we can, like my hands are a little bit bigger, but I can pull it up with that, and then but I'll be able to take it off and repurpose it and fix it and change this handle. But for the purposes of completing this job, we're going to do it just like this. I'm pretty okay with that. I'm really worried, like, if I ever decided to change this handle, which I might, then I'm going to have to touch up this board that just got chomped. But yeah, anyway, that's that guy. So thanks for watching, and I think we'll start another project before the end of this video. So, but probably won't be until Thursday. Today's Monday. So maybe Thursday we start a new project. Friday we put the video out. So Tuesday, Wednesdays I work with Courtney, like I mentioned. So it's not a I can work in the shop days. I can come in here and like touch up and wait for and paint something really quick and that kind of stuff. That's what those days will be for, but not big projects. But I'm pretty happy. Anyway, let's take a good look at it. Okay, so here's the top. It's looking pretty good. I really like the way that horseshoe is not perfect. You know, it really speaks to me. But you can see down here what I was talking about is that the clips have dug into the, and they're not evenly spaced clips, but I tried to make it as even up here as possible. It's not perfect. It's okay. But anyway, so then we come here into the sides, and it looks pretty good. So if you look down there, you can see that there's unstained stuff on the inside. I did coat it, but I didn't stain it. And then there's our gaps to go through to the other side so we don't have a stink issue. And then you can see like this board was definitely used for something else. It had a big screw hole that tore open. I just sanded her down and threw some stain in there. I didn't get all the way in, but it gives it some character, which is nice. And I like how this flooring is pretty solid. So there's that. And then you get to the back where I just kind of left it blank. This was a perfect fit. I had to knock I think a 3/4 of an inch off the side of it, and then 1 inch off of the long end of that plyboard, and it just slid right in there. And the block down here and the block up here are to prevent it from popping out, which it should never have done anyway, but just in case somebody throws a garbage bag in there pretty heavily. And so this is where the last screw would have been, but it's in that small little the skinny board, and I didn't want to use a smaller screw because I'm lazy or find one. And then so there we go. And then same thing on this side, looking pretty good. You can see that obviously I didn't cut the stringers here to the proper length here. I made a mistake in my calculations there, but I had already had them painted and everything before I realized. So measure twice, cut once, people. And anyway, measure 500 times because I seem to mess it up even if I measure it multiple times. So anyway, so there we go. And then we'll look on the inside real quick. The cool thing about this is that the lid will actually stay up on its own if I need it to. It will fall down this way if it's windy or something, but it won't fall back because of the boards, the overhanging boards on this side. So it's pretty cool. And so we got the stringers on the inside. Obviously I missed some painting parts here, but this is on the inside. We were running out of paint, and then I splotched it here. It did not go well on the inside. That's why I took double care on the outside. But inside here, and then you got the bottom with the holes for drainage just in case something happens and something gets in there. And then the back of all the boards is just gray, which is pretty good because it will hide stains and stuff pretty good if things start exploding and leaking in there. But that's it. That's the garbage can holder. Hooray! I don't know if we're actually putting garbage cans in here or not, or if it's just going to hold bags of garbage. If it does hold garbage cans, they're going to have to be not the tall ones. They'll have to be the regular size. But anyway, that's that being done. Hello, hello. Okay, so we're gonna start this 6-foot box, the jump fill. I still don't know how I'm gonna do the top, but I think I'm just gonna worry about that after everything's done. We'll just punch some holes into it if we have to, that kind of stuff. But we're gonna just slap it together, and then I got to get going. So we're gonna just end with this almost done. So we're gonna hopefully have it put together and glued up, and then I'm gonna throw some brad nails in it, and then I'm gonna screw it together at the end. But we're gonna hopefully get to the staining stage. And this time around, I'm not gonna just do one coat of stain like I have done everything else so far. I'm gonna do the stain, sand thing and see how it goes. But let's start getting it together to begin with, and start letting it set. I just need to measure this. This will be 7.5. I assume it will be the same on both sides. Yep, makes sense. Just double checking, and then yeah, we get 7.5 caps. Okay. This guy is pretty good. Let's see here. Beautiful. Now, I wish I had a bandsaw. If I had a bandsaw, I would cut this in, I'd rip this in half this way, and then actually have 2 caps for the end, which would be, I think, pretty cool. As opposed to just having this big ass cap. But I think this is just the way it's got to be done. I don't know what she plans on necessarily putting in here. It's not going to be the same type of flowers as the other flower boxes, I don't think. If it is, I think she would have told me. Right? It might just be, well, these are way thicker boards too. So putting the hole saw in there is going to be fun. I can just do a bigger, I can just do the biggest hole saw though. I can do that and just do every 6 inches again. And then if she wants longer slots, I could just cut them in between the holes. I think that makes a lot more sense. Comes up. It's done. That thing does not like staying in there. That's weird. Anyway. Oh man. Got everything so nasty. Look at this. Look at this place. But either way, this is going to be the end of this video. This took a lot longer than expected. I say that, I think, in every video. This took longer than expected. Eventually, I'll have an idea of how long things actually take in one of these shops, in a shop like this. But I don't. I currently do not. So we're gonna let the glue set overnight, I guess, and then we're gonna come in and just start sanding the crap out of this. And then after our first sand, or our sanding up to the 220, then we're going to stain, wipe, sand, stain, wipe, sand, and then maybe stain again, and then we'll put the coating on, or the end coating on. I did finally find some paste wax, so I got that. It says on here, as far as I know, paste wax is good for freaking everything. Wood floors, paneling, furniture, trim. I'm pretty sure we can use it for everything. So I found some actual paste wax. Finishing wax, but I'm going to use it. Some of the metal stuff that we make actually uses paste wax as a finisher. Especially with the wrought iron and non-high carbon stuff. Anyway, and then I got this can of crystal clear non-yellowing exterior stain, but this is clear, to go on, this is the top coat. This is going to be on top of everything. Ultimate protection, standing against UV and weather resistant. So we're hoping that this thing lasts a lifetime with these, well, with this product here. And then as we're going through this, every time we're waiting for drying to happen, I'm going to be banging horseshoes, I think, because we're going to set this up. I don't know if it's going to be off camera. I don't think so, but it might be, because me and Courtney might do it together. I don't know if she'll want to be on camera or not. But me and Courtney are going to set this side up together a little bit. I'm going to get the tools cleaned up and hung, and then we're going to I'm going to go and try to find a cart for the welder, and then figure out how I'm going to build a small skinny bench over there to put a vise and stuff on, and the mini grinder. I have a small little grinder, 6-inch bench grinder, I think I have up there. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. I just rambled for 5 minutes, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one. Bye.